on Arc Seattle, we always invite you to join our conversation.
And now we are bringing the conversation right to you. Steve McCarron is on the road to find out what you think about the stories driving the news this week. Before we get to Steve, we asked on social media, where do you think Steve is today?
Let's check out some of the guesses. Christian said, Old Railroad Bridge on Sequim or the Steel Bridge.
Good guess.
Okay.
Sarah with Bothell.
Crystal writes, Carnation.
And Christopher says that is the pedestrian bridge at Snoqualmie Falls.
Well, Steve joins us now. So, Steve, did any of our viewers get it right? Where are ya?
Yeah, we have to give a little shout out to Christopher there, who got it exactly right. And if you can tell by maybe the sound on my microphone, it's kind of giving it away. Here's where we're at this morning, Snoqualmie Falls, this beautiful part of our state. And look at that water just gushing out here this morning. And what I love about this shot is we got a little bit of snow overnight, which is covering the rails, part of the rockery there off in the distance, and really creating this really beautiful backdrop right here at the falls this morning. This is one of the most popular scenic spots to visit in our state. About 1.5 million people come to check out the falls every single year. Not only do you have the beautiful 270-foot falls here, you also have that 2-acre park, the gift shop, the observation deck, the Salish Lodge and Spa that we're going to check out a little bit later on this morning. And there's an upper observation deck, which we're on right now, and then obviously the lower observation deck, which you can kind of hike down to and get a different vantage point of the falls. What I love about this is obviously it's beautiful on a winter day when you have some snow, but when the sun is out during the summertime and this thing just pops, and sometimes you can see a beautiful rainbow form over the falls here today. There is a lot of history to this place too, and as my photographer David kind of pans back here, what I love about this spot here is it kind of gives you a history of everything that has brought this together. So the Snoqualmie Falls and the Snoqualmie River are part of a large natural water cycle and local watershed. It talks about some of the original people who came and checked this out, the power plant that I'll get to in just a second, and obviously this is a very special place for some of our Native American neighbors as well. So the falls have been generations a sacred spot for the Snoqualmie tribe and a source of hydraulic power. The tribe believes that the Snoqualm, which is the moon, the transformer, essentially created the world. So the Snoqualm later created Snoqualmie Falls out of a fish trap. And again, this is some of the history here. He transformed the trap into a waterfall with the hopes of allowing the salmon to swim upstream. He was unsuccessful according to that, and to this day, this waterfall keeps salmon from spawning in the upper valley, and the tribe regards this falls as a sacred place. The first non-native to see the falls here was Washington Hall, who was a surveyor and was guided to this site back in 1848. So let's talk about some of the power that's generated here. And if you look above the falls off in the distance there, that kind of gives you a clue of what we're talking about. So Puget Sound Energy has what's called the Snoqualmie Falls Hydroelectric Project, one of the oldest hydropower plants in the U.S. And that's made up of a dam that's about 150 feet upstream from the falls here, and then 2 powerhouses, and those generate a total capacity of 54 megawatts. And if I'm doing my math correctly, that's enough power to power tens of thousands of homes. The Salish Lodge, which is kind of off in the distance there, that beautiful lodge, they also have a wonderful spa. That was acquired by the Snoqualmie tribe, the ownership of that back in 2019 for about $125 million. Just a beautiful spot if you can look in one of the spots inside the restaurant there. And the last time I was here, I was actually in one of those rooms having breakfast with a friend. And you can look out the window and see the top of that beautiful falls. Just a breathtaking spot to have some breakfast. But we're going to share a little bit more about the falls throughout the morning here. But what a wonderful spot this is to bring you, especially on a day like today, which is Valentine's Day.
Oh, especially. It's such a gem. Steve, we're going to be checking in with you throughout the morning. What topics did you talk with people about?
Well, obviously, because it's Valentine's Day, we have to talk about love. And I will tell you that already this morning, we've seen a couple of couples stop by this place and give themselves a few smooches. So we're going to talk about first dates, how much money people are spending on Valentine's Day. and also some not love type of topics too. So we're going to talk about those speed zone cameras that WashDOT is going to be adding to some of those construction zones to try to catch speeders as they're driving past some of those construction zones and reduce the chances of accidents and putting some of those construction workers in danger.
It is Valentine's Day in the Falls, such a romantic spot. You asked couples about their first date.
Yeah, and when you think about a first date, you know, a lot of people maybe choose to go out to dinner for the very first time, and that can bring some really great conversation. You're kind of forced to have a conversation in one single place. But a lot of people choose Snoqualmie Falls, and if you just sort of take a look at the scenery here, you can really understand why. I mean, if you're trying to impress somebody, bring a date out here and just take in that view, the water gushing this morning. And what's so beautiful is parts of the rockery here have just been covered with some of that snow, and you're seeing lots of icicles as well. But, you know, imagine taking that first photograph if the relationship lasts a while, and you can look back on such a beautiful site like this, with just taking in that view, all the water, the Salish Lodge off in the distance too, all the greenery from the trees. So yeah, we asked some couples out here earlier this week about their first dates, and actually ran into one couple who came here during not their first date, but one of their first few dates. Listen.
First date was at the aquarium in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's where we met.
It was the first time we'd met each other. We met each other on Bumble.
Met on Bumble. And we talked for like 4 months, and then we finally met up. It was like the peak of the pandemic, so we were kind of scared to work or see each other. She was working in a hospital at the time. And yeah, that's where our first date was.
Yeah.
And our third date was actually here.
Yeah. He's a really big
I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan.
So yeah. I wanted to show him.
And I had never been, and she is from right around here. So yeah, our third date was here, and we come here as often as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to do, especially when you live so close, right? So you think about Twin Peaks, which obviously has a huge following. North Bend, not that far away. Fall City, not that far away. Of course, the city of Snoqualmie, too, which we showed you pictures of on our sister station, KOMO 4, earlier this morning. But this really is one of those places, if you want to try to impress somebody, actually get outdoors and take in some beautiful scenery, why not bring them out to show them this and just really impress the heck out of them? I think it's a beautiful spot.
I agree. Way to impress someone. And I love a good pandemic love story. Wasn't that sweet?
That was so cute. Oh, my goodness.
It was so sweet. And so, Steve, on the topic of Valentine's Day, we know this is a holiday when people will spend big. Let's take a quick look at how much people plan to spend. Gen Z adults plan to spend big this year, $235. Millennials, $176. Followed by Gen Xers, $95, baby boomers, $53.
All right, Steve, so what do people say about Valentine's Day spending?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people are spending a little bit less this year just because inflation, that's what I was trying to think of. Inflation has just been driving up costs so much for just about everything. So I think some people are cutting back, and certainly when you're trying to think about a spot that might be free or not cost you all that money, this is one of those spots that you think of, besides maybe getting one of the parking spots that's close to this place for a few bucks to check out the beautiful view. There's actually a free parking lot across the street, across from the falls and across from Salish Lodge. So I think some people are cutting back, and we actually ran into a couple of people who said they're cutting back because their birthdays fall around Valentine's Day. Take a listen.
Not that much, maybe a couple hundred. It's our birthday too, so it makes it a little complicated.
2 for the price of 1.
We usually don't separate Valentine's Day because my birthday is just so close to Valentine's Day, but if we all do it together, it's probably, I don't know, 800.
A couple hundreds, yeah. We usually do a little road trip.
Yeah.
And then, have a nice dinner. It's a
traditional thing.
Yeah, have a nice dinner.
Yeah. We go on a small trip, either like a cabin trip or somewhere in the middle, and we used to have like a nice dedicated dinner as well. So adding up on top of that is probably a few hundred.
Yeah, around.
So I have to admit that surprised me a little bit when we talked to that couple just about how much they plan to spend, anywhere from about $800 to $1,000. But when you factor in maybe a little bit of a road trip or a nice dinner, those costs certainly can add up.
Especially when your birthday's so close to the holiday.
Yeah, it's two big events,
Exactly.
so that makes sense.
All right, lastly, Steve, switching gears here, a story driving the conversation this week is the Work Zone Speed Camera Program that aims to reduce speeding in active road construction, maintenance, and emergency zones across the state. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, so essentially how those cameras are going to work is they're going to capture an image of a vehicle that are going past some of those construction zones, drivers that are simply going too fast. And that first infraction essentially is just going to be a citation or an infraction, so not going to really get any sort of penalty at all. But the second one is going to run about $248. And yeah, the whole idea with this is to get people to slow down, pay attention. Obviously, those construction workers, when they're out working on some of the roads in our region, they're putting their lives at risk. And so we asked people about what they think about having a camera catch people instead of having maybe a trooper out on the road trying to catch those vehicles themselves. Listen.
It's a waste of money to have policemen out there just to see speeders, for gosh sakes. You can go and take a picture of them and send them a bill. Much cheaper and much more efficient and collects a lot more money.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Well, we don't want anyone to get hurt. It's a work zone for a reason, right? There's people working.
And tickets are expensive.
True.
So.
Go the speed limit, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked what Jenny and Jackson said there about just go the speed limit. And obviously our state has a move over law, which you need to abide by. So as you're going past one of those construction zones, give those workers a break. They're doing a really important job. They're working on construction projects, trying to improve the mobility of drivers around our state. So certainly give them a break. But those cameras are going to be setting up in some of those construction zones around the Puget Sound region.
All right, Seattle, we're on the road today, bringing the conversation to you.
You've likely noticed I'm guest hosting for Steve today. That's because he's out in the community celebrating Valentine's Day at a very romantic spot. Steve joins us to continue the conversation. And Steve, you're at the Salish Lodge and Spa at Snoqualmie Falls. What do you have in store for us this hour?
We are going to give you a special sneak peek here at one of the fourth floor suites, which is where I'm at right now. I'm a little tempted to take a little snooze on this bed just because it looks so cozy in here. They've done a great job of bringing the Valentine's Day ambiance as we celebrate Valentine's Day today. I want to bring in Cassie McHale, who's the Spa and Retail Director here at the Salish Lodge and Spa. Welcome.
Thank you.
And it's so nice to have you. So we're in the fourth floor now, and this is one of the suites here at Salish.
It's one of my favorite suites because you can't beat the iconic view.
Absolutely.
We're excited to have you visit.
I'm excited to be here
by.
as well. And just look at this. It looks so cozy. They have the fireplace going, the rose petals out as well. And we know that this room is booked up for a little bit later for somebody else that's coming for the weekend, which is just awesome.
Yes, we are so booked for Valentine's Day weekend. I think you can't get much more romantic than sitting on top of the waterfall. And what better weather to be hanging out by a fireplace inside.
I know. It's definitely
so
cozy in here.
Yes.
So we want to show off a little bit more of the suite here. So obviously this is the bedroom, and now we want to take you into, I think, where the bathroom is, the spa.
You have to see this gorgeous tub. I think this is a dreamy spot to take a deep breath and relax. Look at this view.
I think that's probably the best part of being in here, right?
Yes. I love that you can see the snow down at the bottom of the falls. I also wanted to highlight, we have so many lovely Valentine's Day themed treats to relax in our bathtub. This is one of our Aphrodite bath bombs. I wish you all could smell how divine it is, but I can't think of a better tub to soak in.
And certainly you want to have some salts along with the bath as well,
our Salish branded salts. I would love to jump in right now and have a glass of champagne and
I would
take
too.
a big.
That sounds perfect. Maybe like a chocolate covered strawberry or something.
Yeah.
And this too.
Yeah, this is our Valentine's Day seasonal bath butler. And it's all about strawberries and chocolate. I wish you could smell how divine it is, but we have chocolate bath salts. We have a chocolate bath scrub. And then from Eminence, we have strawberry rhubarb hyaluronic body lotion, which is just a treat for your skin. And of course, some chocolates. So any of these bath butlers, you can surprise and delight the guest in your life that you want to celebrate. And we can have this ready in your suite, any of the rooms here, so they can have a little taste of the spa in the suite.
It's just so inviting.
Yeah.
And now let's go out to the main room. And this also has an incredible, basically there's no bad view in this whole suite, right?
You can't beat it. I just think this is quintessential Pacific Northwest.
Yes. Shall we pop some champagne?
That sounds perfect.
Okay, is that my job or is that your job?
That's definitely your
That's
job.
my job. Okay, so no pressure. I think I've done this before, but it's
You
been
can
a
do
little
it.
while.
So this is our Salish Brut. We love handing glasses of Brut all over the lodge. We make lots of spa mimosas with it. I'm so excited to cheers you on Valentine's Day.
I know, what a perfect day to do a little Valentine's Day cheers, right? So I know that you guys are doing some Galentine's Day programming.
Yes.
And that's actually, I mean, you think when Galentine's Day, you think it's only going to be Valentine's Day weekend, but you guys are doing that all this month. Is that right?
Yeah. So my first year here at Salish, we were talking about what promotions we should have up in the spa, and I wanted to celebrate all the gals in my life, and we came up with the Galentine's Day promotion, and it's been one of our biggest hits. So grab any of your gal pals, book any 2 facials on the menu. We have a number of them, from relaxation facials customized to your skin, all the way up to more clinical hydrofacial, clinical luxury facial.
Okay.
So gals can book a facial each. They'll get complimentary access to our soaking pool, sauna, and steam room, which everyone's dying to get into to relax.
I can understand why.
Yeah, and then they get a complimentary strawberry and cream face mask during their treatment, which just smells divine and does so many amazing things for your skin.
Yeah.
And then after, you can cheers down in our lounge, because they each get a $25 lounge credit, and we have so many amazing month of love cocktails and mocktails to cheers to down there too. So what a fun Galentine's Day, and that's all month, the 1st through the 28th.
And certainly a lot of spots open. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah. Yes.
See if we're gonna do this.
Good luck.
Ooh.
Yay!
And it didn't spill. We call that
Pro
successful.
level, yes.
All right, let's pour a little champagne here. Oh, there we go.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It certainly is.
Yes.
Even though it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You have to get Valentine's Day off to a good start. Dave is going to step outside and show the remarkable view in this 4th floor suite. And I honestly think this is probably one of the best views just around this entire property.
Oh, yeah.
It's just breathtaking.
Anytime I get a chance to sneak out onto one of these decks and take a deep breath of fresh air over the falls, it's a good day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get old. I've been here 4 years, and every time it's just as magical.
And obviously you can see the view from the upper observation area and the lower observation area if you want to take that hike down. But it gives you sort of a totally different view when you're above it.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you can take in the whole valley. It's just remarkable.
And I can't wait. We're working on a great new outdoor space for guests to enjoy a cocktail. We're going to have a bar right on top of the waterfalls, so they can go out, check out the scene, and cheer. There's so many great places to cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Took a little swig. Good flavor too.
Yes.
And that's part of a restaurant renovation that you guys are doing, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got to walk through it yesterday, and it's just coming together so nicely. They're putting so much thought into the guest experience, so a guest can sit anywhere in the restaurant. We're going to have some raised booths so they can look out the window and get the view of the valley as well. So I just can't wait for everyone to see it. It's going to be great.
I can't wait to see the finished product.
Yeah.
Cassie, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And again, toast to you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much for showing us, and what a remarkable place to sort of take in the holiday weekend or any weekend of the year, right?
Yeah. I mean, how's the Brut tasting?
Fantastic.
All right.
I'm going to try to drink this whole glass down.
Well, lucky you.
We'll know where to find you this afternoon if you don't make it back to the station.
There you go.
Yep, we know where you're at. Great job, Steve. That was really fun.